Oh, baby. Oh, fucking baby. We're back. I just need to make sure that all of my sounds are off on all my other screens so that we don't get the double derp Krown noises in the background. It's like the screeching fucking feminist. But it's a good morning. Elsa's actually already had a workout. She woke up at fucking 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Went to the gym. 5. She woke up at 5, went to the gym at 6. Holy shit. Good stuff, Elsa. And plenty to talk about today with Bitcoin. On the higher term timeframes and actually on the lower term timeframes as well. We continue on with the short term correction, but the higher term timeframes are giving some very powerful signals here, which I do believe is going to be probably the last major opportunity in this next this week, basically, maybe next week as well. But ultimately, the next big opportunity, if you are looking at this market, is still bullish, which maybe it's not. I don't know, you know. Anyways, that'll be the topic of today, of course. I'm going to be getting into this one after we let a few more people join on in here. It's a pretty quiet day. Very few people watching right now. 400 people in the stream, but good morning to all of the 400. And we got 18 likes on the video. Terrible ratio, but that's all right, man. We're gonna run through this one anyways. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. Mr. Krown is jacket confirmed. I am jacket, and you are sweatshirt, sir. What's up, Matthew Bund? Wait, what the fuck is this name? This is like one of those sounded out names that I can't pronounce it, man. I can't pronounce it. I don't know what to say, man. What's up, Filson? I know that one. I know that name. I know Durian. I know No Gomez. Paul, Doctor. God, how do I say this one as well? Dr. J, aka I like it, man. Toxic, Maddie GT, Coin Operated, Tom Struck, Leech Slip, Michael Blast. Holy shit, man. It's good. It's really, really good. And HFIFM, our lovely commenter. How do you pronounce my name? Fuck if I know, man. You just say the letters. Anyways, today's a very exciting morning. It does look like breaking news. Breaking news. Stupid to say that, but there is breaking news, at least for myself, because it looks very much like we're gonna have a fight confirmed in September in Singapore for token 2024, token 2049, the token conference, the shitcoin conference, whatever the fuck it is. Doesn't matter, man. We're going there to fight. We had a couple of opponents, or potential opponents, I should say. One of them was actually Ansem, but it doesn't look like he is going to, it doesn't look like this is going to be a good matchup for him. He's also like literally a foot taller than me, but, and also like another 10 or 12 kilos bigger than me, but it would have been a good matchup. It's actually going to be against, or seemingly against, it's not fully confirmed right now, but it does look very, very likely it's going to be against this like YouTuber guy who's like more of an interviewer guy. I don't think he's a crypto guy, but should be good. Should be very, very good, man. I'm very excited. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And we'll give it like another 5-10 minutes for people to stream on in here. This particular stream actually will be important in terms of kind of extrapolating on the on the more long-term case for Bitcoin, because several things actually did happen in the last 24 to 48 hours now that actually does, I don't necessarily know if it changes the picture, but it does confirm, have further confirmations on things that we were looking at, and I want to really go deeply into that. So yeah, man, before Singapore, go to Thailand and get some hard training. Man, I'm getting hard as fuck training here in Finland. Thailand actually would be really, really good for that, but for me, man, it would take too much time, too much setup. I got all my comforts here. I know my food sources here, which is so huge. That's actually a big problem for me in Dubai. Like the food there, it's good, but it's not like Finland. I mean, Finland just has the highest of the high qualities when you go to the grocery store. Like everything's organic. It's just amazing. It's fucking incredible. You feel so different breathing the air here, man. It's just beautiful, man. Fucking beautiful. Ramen profitable crypto. Yes, some top ramen is what we're looking for here. And yeah, man, shave your back hair so she has nothing to grab onto. Yes, my opponent is also my girlfriend or my fiance. Who knows? Get hard. We're getting hard as fuck, Filson. I'm hard already. Crypto Cobain says full derp. We're derping it up, my man. And organic. Yes, I'm very organic as well. Gay for TA and organic as fuck. That's what we're looking for in this morning. How did your hair transplant go? I mean, you can see that there's literally hair on my head, so it worked. It worked, but the problem is now the hair is falling out in the areas that they did not plant it, so I'll probably have to get another hair transplant at some point. But it's not so bad, man. I'm a hair trans, which means that I can use all of the euphemisms for, well, the T word. And actually, we visited Elsa's parents this past weekend for her sister's wedding, and they're hilarious, by the way. They they say some funny ass shit, and it's even funnier because they don't speak English, so I have to get it translated from Elsa to me. And they have all sorts of comments on the current events of the world and how things are going in certain communities. It's fucking hilarious, man. Get on Do Task Thread. Actually, yeah, I'm on it, but it falls out anyways, man. I think I'm just destined to be hairless on the top of my head, but hair just goes everywhere else in my body. Who the fuck knows what's going on there, man? Yeah, can't wait for Orc Krown to return post new hair transplant. Yeah, man, that was weird. That was really weird. It was kind of scary too, because for like a day or two, I actually could not really open my eyes. It looked hilarious for sure, but goddamn, man, like I actually couldn't open one of my eyes for about a day and a half. It was pretty bad. Anyways, I should let you know, as the background of this particular video is suggesting, that the first live class event for the second cohort of the Krown School begins in 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 43 seconds and counting. You can sign up for free with the link right here, or the link in the description below. In fact, I'll actually just show you quickly the link. The one right here that literally says link or this one. It's quite confusing, but you never know, man. It is the YouTubes after all, and sometimes some things just get lost. They get lost in translation, unfortunately. Seasonality chart is extremely bullish, starting tomorrow, moon soon. Actually, the moon has happened as of Monday, and that's actually be a bit of a topic today. I'll still give it another few minutes here for people to stream on in. We're almost at 600 people watching right now. Again, a little bit quieter, despite Bitcoin actually having some pretty significant moves here, but I think that's still kind of a testament to the fact that there's not really seeming to be new people coming into this market as of yet. I don't think that happens until you get one of those Bitcoin headlines to new highs, 80,000 plus, perhaps, a new 8 handle on it would probably look pretty damn good. But yeah, I mean, that does kind of speak to the lack of FOMO that we see right now in this market. So it does still look to me like just like the underlying market dynamics are still, more or less muted. I mean, we're not really seeing anything super crazy as of right now. Play that Whitney TA clip. Which one is that? Which one are you talking about? Whitney TA clip. Jog my mind. I don't know exactly which one you're talking about. But you know what? Before we get into that, I should actually play something very important for you. Okay, this is a part of your American education for all of the fucking heathens here, and it'll be just about perfect timing, because once this clip ends, we'll probably have about the right amount of people in here. So you know what? I'm gonna play this clip without very much comment. I just want you to listen. I want you to learn. I want you to be open-minded towards the plight of some individuals not in this country, in Finland, but in America. And I want you to be aware. I want you to be aware of the changing dynamics and why we cannot let Orange Himmler be elected again.
The KKK, you've talked about this, the KKK members don't wear sheets over their face. The Trump effect is that people are out of the closet with their misogyny. They're out of the closet with their racism. Do you see that? I mean, I see that as potentially the most corrosive impact.
Yes, I think it's really true. I was in the street the other day and some guy saw me with my new haircut and goes, "Hey, you look like a dyke." I was like, to my face, right? I thought the same thing, the coarsening of the culture. In my whole career as a
All right, wait for the soy boy.
People trashed you behind your back,
well, nobody would ever come up to you and say something to your face, right? But the culture now is such that this is what's happening.
He has degraded the culture.
It's really bad, guys. So yeah, the situation needs to be fixed immediately. No more calling people's dykes to their faces. What? Do it behind their back, like real people, you asshole. I wish I was there for that interaction, just so I could have it. Like, I have a picture in my mind of what that looked like and what that sounded like, but goddamn, man. Unfortunately, I'll never know the truth of the situation. I just love that shit, man. I just fucking love that shit. It's great. It's absolutely great. It's very redacted. I agree as well, Mr. Michael Blast. But you know what? We love redaction. We love redaction. Pretty laggy. Yeah, it is pretty laggy right now. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Maybe let me check it out. Yeah, my CPU is like going fucking crazy right now. I don't know what the hell is I don't know what the hell that is. Let me see what's taking up all of the space there. And all I hear is Is the stream glitching for anyone else? Let me just... Yeah, okay. There does seem to be some issues here. Maybe it's the Lizard Council not being happy with that clip that we just played. What? Let me see. I am going to Yeah, okay, it actually wants me to increase. It wants me to increase the bit rate here. So let me just try that and see if that fixes the issues. Why is that not popping up? There we go. Okay, great. All right, let's see if we can do this midstream here and perhaps wait. Yes, maybe we can. It's Elsa says it's the lefties. Okay. All right. Let's see if this fixes it. I just increased the bit rate, which is what it's which is what it's asking for right now. So hopefully that solves our issues. But then again, it looks like it's buffering still. The hell's going on here, man? What the fuck's going on here? Need to figure out what is eating up so much of my. Something's eating up a shit ton of my computer. Hold on. Let me just I don't know. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works here. Give it a task manager and figure the hell out what's eating up all the performance right now. And just give me a moment here. Apologies for the annoyingness. It is what it is, but okay, it shouldn't be that bad. Okay, Google seems to be taking up a lot of the spaces. All right, let me just get rid of some of the extra tabs that I got going on here. Perhaps this will help our plight. It's a virus. Yeah, let's see. Okay, for whatever reason, OBS is actually taking up a shit ton of space right now, about 46%. But that still shouldn't be causing these sort of issues. Although I did have something similar happen like this yesterday. I'm wondering what's going on with this. Okay, let me see what else is here. See if I can turn off anything else. Might be that I have to actually restart this stream really, really quickly. That seemed to have fixed the issue when I had this issue yesterday. But let me know. Let me know. I did try one little fix here. So let me know if it's improved at all. If it hasn't improved, I'll just restart the stream and well, we'll just do it that way. I'll leave this up so you just have to refresh your page. It's unfortunate, it's annoying, but it is what it is. So it does look like it's still kind of laggy on my end, but let me know in the comment section. It's still lagging. Okay, not really. It's good. It's not good. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's not good. Elsa, is it okay or not?
It's lagging, but
it's okay. Yeah,
it's lagging.
It is still lagging.
Yeah.
It is okay. And what do you mean that it's lagging? Like, is the voice all fucked up or?
No, they say audio is good, but it's like choppy.
Okay. Let me just
I'll
go in and out.
I'll check the audio.
Okay, I'm just seeing what it looks like on my own screen here.
It's fine.
Okay, so the audio is good. It is fixed. It's good now. Okay, it's not good. It's good. It's not good. Now it's okay. Now it's good. Okay. So that does seem to be the issue. Apparently, my bit rate was a little bit too low. All right, great. Okay, so that. Yeah, I guess that actually does matter. Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Okay. All right, we good. Thank you for that, Steve. Steve Green Comedy. I'm going to check out your channel later, man. You just revealed yourself. You've revealed yourself, but I appreciate all the feedback coming in right now. See, we got a lot of comments, people saying now good, now fixed. Okay, so that is the way to fix that. Great. Awesome. We're good. Let me get my notes out in the background over here. I see Alial. What's up, Alial? Alial made me laugh my fucking face off the other day because apparently this fucking Arab guy from Kuwait can do like the most perfect German accent that you've ever heard in your life. Like, what the fuck? How did that even happen, man? All right. I got one more sip here and then we're good to go. Stream is good now. Awesome, man. Awesome. Eric, how much was that video intro? You don't want to know. you don't want to know, sir. But I should probably hire Faraz to actually redo a few things. I think we can make some things better. All right, cool. So yeah, let's get into this one. Actually record this one as well, just in case if I want to post it up later. Actually, no. Perhaps not. Fuck it. All right, let's go with it. Okay, so first things first, I do want to follow up on the buy signal on the hash ribbons indicator that we did look at from yesterday. That has indeed confirmed. So we do see that the blue buy signal is now solidified into the history of price action, which does imply that, hey, we would expect that the $56,000 low that Bitcoin put in on the 6th of July is going to be the low. And while Bitcoin could theoretically come, very close down to it, even trade below it, on a wick basis, we would not expect any closures below that on any meaningful higher time frame. That would obviously distort your relationship. And if that does happen in all prior 3 cases out of a total of 19, those have led to tremendously nasty breakdowns. Like, we're talking about like 50% more to the downside in those instances. But for right now, Obviously, that's well and far away. Bitcoin is experiencing a pullback. It can pull back very easily, more. But ultimately, we should be looking at this, or not we should be, but I should be looking at this, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, as very likely a major opportunity with a very obvious invalidation point. Again, nothing is 100% probability in trading land, or really in life as well, although there are very, very high probability things. But what makes this a very attractive setup, at least to me, for the long term, is that you have a very clear and obvious invalidation point. Closure below that last low, again, $56,000 on a higher term time frame, that gets invalidated. Probably expect a significant downside move after that. Maybe as much as 50% more to the downside. But that gives a lot of space here for Bitcoin to pull back on this current move. And if we do draw our fibs from that low to the current high of this move, we can see that the 50% level is actually all the way down at $62,000, and Bitcoin has just basically tested the 382 level, which is what Fib Oswani actually refers to as a shallow fib, and that was 63.5. We do expect strong moves to find lows or higher lows around that region. But if it does fail, you got $62,000, and then you got very low 60, like 60,500. Below there, I would be very, very critical of any sort of higher low actually forming, just, personal opinion. But again, technically speaking, the setup is not invalidated until Bitcoin is below $56,000. And yes, in the interim, that does mean that Bitcoin can pull back, significantly more. I mean, that would be nearly a 10% move from current price action to about $60,000. Remember, long term, the statistics for the moves of this particular setup that have worked out have taken just over 2 months on average to play out, and the first major move before the first correction has on average returned over 60%, which is a lot. At least in my opinion, that's a lot from that prior low. So in this case, 60%, from, I don't know, $56,000 is what that puts Bitcoin, upper 80s, low 90s, basically within about 2 months. So end of September / early October, I would say. And this is also going to be accompanied by a more relatively medium term signal over here with the moons. The witches are back at it right here. And we can see that Bitcoin has printed a bull moon. This one obviously already not looking too hot, just like actually the last bear moon did not work out too well as well. I mean, yes, Bitcoin did trade a little bit lower after that moon was printed, but ultimately this was a bottoming area, and this is looking more like a topping area to me. So of course, again, statistics at the end of the day, it's not going to be certainties, but when we do look at this one, when we do look at this setup throughout the history of Bitcoin, just playing the moons fucking blindly as a total herpity derp, unthinking moron, it has actually led to some pretty decent results long term. Just opening on the bull moon and closing on the bear moon. You can see right here, it's been just over 60% profitable. 60% of the time it's been profitable endeavor with over a 3.25 profit factor, which is pretty fucking good. And you can see that nice and sweet, that sweet equity curve up and to the right. Performance summary over here reveals that the average winning trade has been about 14.5%. Again, that would be taken from the actual open of this, and these signals play out specifically on a time basis of about 15 days. So from that, from that high, 15 days would put us to where? That would put us in 5th of August, so the first week of August. And technically speaking, if it did play out towards the average, about a 14% move to the upside, that would put Bitcoin actually on new all-time highs at $78,000. I do reserve my my skepticism for this particular moon being a profitable moon. That's just me right now. I do think that this one is going to be more of a consolidationary-ish one, and obviously already a pullback one as well, as we identified on Monday was very, very likely. But hey, that is in there. And of course, just as useful is to know the average losing trade at just under 7%. So if this one does lose, about how much on average would we expect Bitcoin to go to the downside? And does this match up with any of our potential pullback targets or areas of interest? And actually, now that I check it right here, yes, it does. In fact, 7% from that high puts Bitcoin where? That puts Bitcoin at 63,500. Very interesting, because that is also the 382 fib that we just looked at. And Well, that's 302 fib. And also, I believe one of our HPDR levels that we'll get to a little bit later. But moving on from there, we can go ahead and check the daily statistics. Thursday, a little bit more weighted towards downside price action since 2024 began. Overall, though, Thursday is one of the lowest volatility weekdays that we do see for Bitcoin, returning, relatively small amounts on both sides. To the gaining sides, about 190, and to the losing sides, losing an average about 165. So coming up with a range from that, from that data, we could see to the upside, which I think is very unlikely again today to see. That would technically put in a range high, probably around 66,500. Into the downside, about 165. Shaved off the current price action puts us kind of around the current low right now, actually. It's lagging again. God damn it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Actually, I don't really see it on my own screen over here. That is very bizarre. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but I can see that my CPU load has gone up again. It's this fucking, oh God, this is the issue. It's my goddamn AMD computer that I'm using right now. I fucking hate AMD. They always just wrecking my shit. Always wrecking my shit, but I think we'll have to persevere on this one. Okay, so I think that's the issue. The OBS browser page. What the fuck is this? What is this? I'm trying to figure out actually what is causing all of this nonsense to be going on right here. Yeah, it seems to be something on OBS, one of the plugins that's going on. But oh well, we'll move on from there. Anyways. And it's a video that looks like max headroom. I'm just trying to figure out why. Because I can't reproduce this on my own screen over here. I'm watching my own stream and it looks fine. Maybe it's just not caught up yet. Oh yeah, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, it is bizarrely lagging there. Huh. All right, let me turn off this. This might be the issue. Maybe that's causing the issue right there. Let's see if that does indeed fix things. Have to give it a little bit of time to update though. Yeah, AMD dump continuation coming. Fucking AMD, man. Fucking AMD. Anyways, moving on from there. You can hear me, but you can't see me. But we'll go over to the HPDR ranges. Again, Bitcoin did get stifled right at the 5-day median high. Sorry, not median high. There's no such thing as that, but just the high at the median thus far. So again, we did kind of expect a pullback here. I do think worst case scenario, you will see a move down to very low $60,000. That'd be the bottom side of the 30 level right here. That's also going to be a gap fill on CME. If we go back to, over here, let me just show that really quickly. Boom and boom. Let me just pull the actual CME chart so you can see. We can see that, yes, indeed, there's a nice little gap coming in from Friday, the 12th of July, and that is down around $60,000. So, I do think that that's worst case scenario. Of course, a little bit more of a, optimistic area would be the daily level right here on CME, which we can see that the median actually is pretty much around current price action, and the bottom side of the 38.2 level for the current range on the daily is about 62,800, so probably more like 62,500 for spot price action. So those would be kind of like the three major areas: 63.5, then you got mid 62, and then 60,000 or 60,000 and change probably. So those would be the three major areas I'd be looking at. Is the stream still all wrecked? Yeah, it does look like it's still wrecked. That is fucking annoying. Huh. All right. Well, fair enough. Perhaps I'll continue to put up the bitrate here. I mean, I can definitely do that. All right, that's shouldn't be an issue. Let me just try this really quickly and see if this solves our very unfortunate situation. I wonder how much bitrate is ideal for YouTube. I'm doing about 10,000 right now, which I thought was probably even maybe too high, but oh well. Anyways, it's robotic. 5 PS reminds me of my computer. It could be the Russians as well. The Russians are attacking. God damn it. But yeah, we can move on from there as well. And if things don't improve soon, then perhaps I can try restarting the stream. But we can see here, again, higher term time frame stochastic momentum is turning on to the upside. Weekly on CME is going to cross officially at the end of this week. So tomorrow, assuming that Bitcoin remains above 62,500, obviously the 5 day is going to continue up as well. And that one's closing. Oh, that one is not closing anytime soon. It just closed. And that one did confirm up. And then the daily time frame, as we did identify yesterday, is still kind of in a corrective posturing here. So I suspect that we do see this come down a little bit more timing wise. I don't think that any sort of major upside price action is happening this week. If it is going to happen, probably next week, if anything. Until then, very likely corrective, very likely rangy, very likely, very likely boring, very likely very boring. So I think that's going to do it for my portion of this stream. I'm going to give it about a minute or two here to let the new bitrate come in and see if that improves the situation. The issue that I was getting on YouTube now does seem to be resolved. So let me know if the stream now is more, I don't know, more normal, more normal, and that'd be good. Okay, it's better now is what Elsa says. I can also put the bitrate up even higher than what it is, but I figured this is probably good. Okay, it's better now. Okay, great. All right, awesome. Yeah, with that said then, I'm going to go over here to the comments, see what's cooking. I see that we already have a lot of super chats, which is good. Okay, it's fixed. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Appreciate that, and apologies for the annoyingness here. Don't know what the hell that had really gone on. I haven't changed any settings on my own end, so who knows, man? Who knows? Finasteride for full head of hair. I actually was taking finasteride, but I was still losing hair, man. It was still falling out a little bit. Anyways, Melly is first today, she says, or he says. What? Nimai? Nimai's looking at render on the daily and weekly. Okay, I remember this one was maybe one of the more strong ones about a month ago. Let's see how it's doing now. I forget what we said last time we were looking at over here. I'm guessing corrective, and yeah, corrective is definitely the name of the game. Now, I do see that the weekly stochastic oscillator is really going for a full reset. We probably do have this trendline regression coming in, a little bit lower actually. So I do think that this one spends a little bit more time correcting still, but it does look like it is kind of forming this range low here. So I would be respectful of that. And, do I think it's probably found a low? Maybe it spikes this area a few more times, probably does spike this area a few more times. Yes, letting the daily kind of work off of its own extreme conditions. But, as long as it holds, what is this, 570, I do look at this as probably a healthy consolidation. Or at least likely to get, a decent sized bounce before anything else. Keep in mind though, there is a weekly lower high end here, and technically speaking, we already have a weekly lower low as well. So, actually I probably should be bearish on this, but I would be looking for a bounce of this level. Just even if I was super bearish, and that bounce, could very easily come back up to like low $8, maybe even $9. Technically speaking, this one doesn't really reverse or confirm a reversal as long as you're below about $9.50. So I would give it a chance to bounce here. I think it's going to take. I think this current portion is going to take a couple weeks, but. Give the bounce a chance. If the bounce starts to reclaim important areas like $9.50, that bounce is going to be decided as a reversal. But for now, I'd just be looking for a bounce, and technically speaking, should be cautious around the let's say mid to low $8 region. Because if there is going to be a lower high and this one actually does break down, that's where you would expect it to come in from. So yeah, as far as that goes, probably spikes this area again, but I would be looking for a bounce from there. I'm curious what the monthly looks like as well. Monthly, definitely not hot. definitely not a humongous fan of the monthly, I'll say that. So if I did want to make a big bearish case, I'll be looking at this time frame right here. But first things first, let it try for a bounce, come back to it after that. The monthly still is about 7 days left, still about a week. Actually, is that right? Let me just double check. Yeah, literally 1 week from today is the monthly. Okay, cool. Anyways, okay, let's get on to the next one. I see Melly. Melly is saying, hiya, Krown. Hello. I value your opinion. Thanks. I value your comment. Maybe. Let's see what it says first. Do you think the Cosmos ecosystem will survive this cycle with the token Atom on Coinbase? Have you been have you been drinking the Kool-Aid? Have you been drinking the Kool-Aid? Look, I am not a fundamental person. I do not know the fundamental cases for a lot of these things. I can say in general, it is not wise to expect anything to survive from one cycle to the next. And Cosmos, if it's what I'm thinking of, symbol ATOM, has been around in a prior cycle. So let's see how it is doing right now. I suspect it's probably not doing too well, and it's not doing too well. And I probably wouldn't expect it to do too well this cycle. So, will the ecosystem survive? I'm sure their product will still work. Like their product, yes, their product. That's right. Wink, wink. Their product will still work. If you're talking about the number, here's what you really care about. Most likely, this is the real question. Will the number go up? And to that I say, I wouldn't expect it. or at least I wouldn't expect it to reverse into an uptrend. I don't think that this asset will ever see it above like $20 again, personally speaking. But yeah, ugly as fuck chart. Has not even gotten close to prior all-time highs from prior cycles. In fact, in this case, it is literally it was about 250% short of getting the prior all-time high in the current run in March of 2024, when everything else, all the strong ones, were at least testing their prior highs or making new all-time highs from prior cycles. So I'd say that that's a very, very bad signal for the price. For the service, I'm sure you'll be able to still use your token atoms for whatever the fuck you use token atoms for. But as far as charts go, yeah, fucking ugly, fucking disgusting, fucking gross, and should probably self-destruct. Anyways, moving on from there, we have the real G squared. He says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Can you check out SEI on the daily?" Sure, man. Hope you get all the abundance possible. Appreciate that as well. I hope you get abundance as well, and also from Melly, for the abundance of atoms that you will need. SEI, again, another shit chart as far as the monthly goes. Yes, it probably does try for a bounce here, as does the last one that we looked at, probably setting up for a bounce relatively soon. This one, as far as the daily goes, probably setting up for a pullback. We do see a range going on right here. So let me actually mark these off. But I don't think it's going to break down to new lows from this range just yet. I think you're going to see another bounce attempt, and the longer it goes sideways, the better it will be for the boolaws. But if it is going to break down, you actually would be expecting to come down here, try for another bounce off of that prior low, put in another lower high somewhere around like 35 cents, and then actually break down later. But yeah, as far as chart goes, not super impressive compared to the stronger things that I'm just drawing lines right there. Not impressive compared to the stronger things that we've seen in this market for this current cycle, but also not terrible as well. I would suspect, however, that this one will bounce again off of the, I don't know, what is that number, like 25 to 30 cents region, and then you get to play the same game as the last one, right? Where, hey, it's not great, but if you got to give it a chance to actually bounce first before calling a real breakdown, because it's very unlikely to just lead to new lows from its current posture, and it's more likely to retest those lows, bounce again. If it is going to break down from there, then I would be looking for a lower high somewhere around like 50 cents, or anything below 50 cents, kind of questionable, let's say. Anyways, Tom Struck says, "Thank you, Krown. You want to look at gold versus Bitcoin?" Sure. All right. You want to look at the correlation coefficient. I'm not really sure. I will pin your message. Show me your message. Give it to me now. Where is Elsa's message is a real question. It's right there. All right, there we go. Okay. What the fuck? I'm putting you in timeout. First, I'm pinning your message, and then I'm timing you out because you're out of control. There it is. Go to your room. Oh no, it deleted your message. Okay, hold on. You got to repin it. Yeehaw! Super chats go first. Spamming is not appreciated, monkey boys. Don't do it. That is Elsa's classic line. Don't do it. Okay, so you want to look at the correlation coefficient between Bitcoin and gold, but you're looking at. Oh, okay. You want to actually look at different. Okay, this is actually. I have to work it out in my mind. What are you asking? Okay, if you just want to look at the pairing here, is gold putting in a low versus Bitcoin? Well, whoops. Why? Okay, just drew a fucking fib for some reason. It is actually putting in a low versus Bitcoin, but the long-term trend is still very much down. So, let's see where lower high watch would most likely come in around. I mean, could be something like this. Boom, puts in a lower high there, and then actually continues long term. If you want to look at the correlation coefficient on the hourly, I don't know how useful that's going to be honest with you, man. And we'd actually have to look at gold on its own and then Bitcoin on its own, which we can do. I mean, it's easy enough to do on TradingView, so why not? But let's see. All right. Oh god, this one always fucks me around. Do price scale or actually no? Let's just do it this way. This is going to be the better way to do it. Let's see if this pops it up. Where is it? Yes, there we go. Okay, beautiful. On the hourly specifically, I'm curious, why? What is the interest in this? Is a real question. And where is my correlation coefficient? Why hasn't it popped up yet? Where are you? Did I not press it right, or the fuck? TradingView being TradingView as usual. There we go. Okay, that was the issue. It was user issue as always. It's always fucking user issue. Okay, there we go. All right, correlation coefficient on the hourly, it's very, very high right now. Very, very high. And generally it does seem to be, well, kind of oscillates actually. Interesting. To me, I don't have anything to make out of this, to be honest with you, man. I'd be looking at gold versus Bitcoin. That's a chart, that is interesting that we looked at earlier. If I was looking at just gold, I think gold comes down here a bit, but ultimately, I'd still should be bullish on gold like long term. I mean, it's not really a bearish chart. So weekly can easily come down, set in a higher low, and try for another upside move. I don't know, closer to the last quarter of this year. In fact, speaking of quarters, let's see what the quarterly looks like. Yeah, I'm not bearish on this chart. I just like long term, just in the more medium term, I do think it continues to pull down a little bit more. Could get as bad as like 2250 or 2200, somewhere around there. Wouldn't be so far out of the question, but yeah, man. I'm actually just curious, like why do you want to look at the correlation coefficient on the hourly? It's just curious, like what's the deal? What's the deal with that? Michael Longcar says, can you explain why you think cycle peak Q1 of 2025 when 4-year cycle shows end of 2025? I think the 4-year cycle is broken. I think the 4-year cycle is no longer relevant because we've actually seen the specific relationship of price action versus prior all-time high invalidated. I mean, we saw Bitcoin make new all-time highs before the halving this year, and to me, that was a key mark of those prior 4-year cycles. So I would take that. The way that I interpret that is that you can't really look at the 4-year cycle as legitimate anymore. But look, man, 4-year cycle. And whether it ends Q1 of 2025 or or the last quarter of 2025, that's not a humongous difference, man. It's really not. And I don't think that difference is tremendously nasty. But yeah, the reason why I think Bitcoin is oh, God damn it. Now my own computer's freezing over here. What the fuck? Oh no! Are you frozen? Are you frozen? Okay. My OBS is working. Everything else is not. Okay. Chrome seems to be the issue. Chrome is the issue here. Let's see. What is going on? This is so bizarre. Okay. Let me just try this again. It is working. You can do you have it like fully updated to the current moment? Okay. All right. Okay. It's working again. What the fuck, man? So strange. So bizarre. So strange today. All sorts of weird shit going on. Fuck, what was the point that I was making? Yes, okay, that's it. Let's go over here to the monthly. Like, one of the reasons why I just think Bitcoin is likely to end or likely to see the highs of the cycle, assuming that it does not fail here, that it does not invalidate the Hasherman's signal, is that you're already seeing your oscillators in extreme zones with Bitcoin, pretty much at prior all-time highs. So I suspect, given the historical relationship between something as simple as like your stochastic oscillator and kind of the end of the current move, it doesn't like to stay in this area for too long. Now this is a monthly, so each and every tick represents 1 month, so it is kind of a long time, and I do think that it's going to bounce here and cross the upside again and try one more move to the upside. But I think after that, you have to kind of be looking at this from time perspective. Like, that would bring you, into about the mid portion of next year. And I think even that's maybe a little bit optimistic. I think it'd probably be some more like, let me actually get this right. You're probably going to get something more representative of like divergence here. So it'll be a little bit shorter, but I would suspect something like this, boom, puts in a little bit of divergence, comes back down the critical zone. And at that point, you're going to basically see the end of this current cycle. And yeah, that would be, around end of first quarter of this coming year of 2025. I just don't think it's going to stay up there for that long. Last time that we saw Bitcoin enter the critical zone for the monthly stochastic oscillator was November of 2020. Cycle was over May of 2021. So, that's actually not that long. That's what, like 6 months, 7 months? I mean, or 8 months. Yes, something like that. And we saw it enter over here basically December of last year. So, I don't think it's good. I think time-wise, we've seen actually the majority of the cycle already. In fact, when you do look at, just Bitcoin breaks at prior all-time highs, on a monthly basis, it doesn't continue on that much longer time-wise. I mean, from your prior high of December 2017 to the prior all-time high, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months basically. Yes, it did make a slightly higher high later, but not by much. I wouldn't consider it like a tremendously new high. Same thing over here from 2013. Your new high 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 makes sense. Over here, I mean, again, doesn't really count, but I kind of consider this all just like one major thing. Unlikely to last that long, I think. That's at least the side that I'd really, really err on here. Doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't, hit a major high in Q1 of 2025, come back down, reconsolidate, spend most of the year consolidating, and maybe try for like a double bubble ending fully, around end of 2025. I mean, that's possible as well. We'd have to see it in real time, but I do think you are going to see a major high in Q1 of 2025. That's probably my main point, which I guess theoretically could lead towards continuation later, but I wouldn't bet on that at first glance. Tom Struck says, good morning, sir. Could you do Dixie moons? Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's easy enough to do. So sure. Let's go over here to Dixie. Let's go to the daily. We're already on the daily. Let's put on the moon phases and let's see what's going on. Okay. At first glance, I'm not really seeing, I mean, actually some of these work really, really well. Okay, some of these work really, really well. Some of these do not work well at all. It seems to me that if you do want to play the moon derpity derp game, you want to be trading on the same side as a current trend. So, when the trend is to the upside, those full moons actually do work out pretty well, it looks like. When the trend's to the downside, the bear moons work out pretty well as well. And at the end of the day, I mean, it does just kind of suggest that, hey, trend supersedes everything else, and it probably is really just a question of trend. But yeah, as far as this goes, I mean, you can definitely see some good instances here. Let's see what the actual strategy tester says. So if I was to do the same study as Bitcoin, you can see that this would actually not be a profitable endeavor. 44.5%, or sorry, just over 44% of these would be profitable, but your actual equity curve would be completely fucking wrecked. So yeah, I'd say not a good strategy. Not a good strategy for this. Good thing we back tested. Anyways, moving on from there, we have Nimai again. He or she is looking at AKT, a cash. I remember this one was on the list of stronger things earlier this cycle, but let's see how it's surviving now. Is it surviving is the real question. Probably having a major pullback. Indeed it is. See what the weekly looks like. Very similar to some of the other charts we've seen today. I don't think it's going to break down from here. I do think it is going to retest these lows that you've seen from June, or somewhere around those lows, which probably does imply that Bitcoin, pulls back a little bit more. But look, you are starting to get into critical conditions for your weekly oscillators here. So I do suspect that, this next bounce is going to be very, very telling. So one, very likely comes back down to these lows, mid $2, or what is it, like 270, something like that. You're going to very likely see another bounce attempt from those lows. And then the question is, does it break back up? Jesus Christ, I just did it again. Does it break back above these highs here or not? Or do you just continue on sideways? Continue on sideways, you get to play the game of which side does it break first. Of course, if it does break to the upside, you're probably looking at a retest of the, $6 highs. If it breaks to the downside, well, you're probably looking at significant retracements, well below $2, probably closer to 175. But for right now, a cash, longer term, it does actually have a more impressive chart than most things from prior cycles, just because it did retest those prior highs. So I should be looking at this pullback as very likely to set in a higher low. So let's see where our major, holy shit, is this right? Let me actually just double check that this is not fib scale. Okay, it's not. Wow. Okay, that is fucking wild. Let's see what it looked like. Yeah, it's already like, what the fuck? That does not. My eyes do not, are my eyes deceiving me right here? Like what's going on? Okay, no, it's on log scale. That's why the actual price scale that's why. But yeah, it's resting on the 618 level right here. Yeah, so I guess that would be the major area to be looking for a bounce from. It looks really fucking weak to me for that though. But give it a chance, just like the other ones. Give it a chance to bounce from here first. I don't think most of these charts that we looked at, while they are likely to retest those lows, I don't think they're likely to break those lows just yet. So kind of have to give it a chance to bounce first, and then assess, does that bounce produce a lower high or not? But yeah. All right. Michael Longcar, he's back. He's looking at PopCat, 4 hour and daily. Okay, let's see what the very technologically advanced meme coins are looking like today. So this one only trades on Bybit, Blowfin, and Kraken's very bizarre assortment of exchanges. Actually, not funnily enough, probably one of the better charts. I mean, of course, it doesn't have the prior history to be absolutely fucking about with it, but not bad here. I mean, this pullback very likely does present the opportunity. Can it pull back a little bit more? Maybe closer to like 69 cents, perhaps yes. I'm actually gonna write this one down. Popcat. The fuck is that? But yeah, I'd actually be looking at this one as probably an opportunity. Can pull back a little bit more, like I said, towards 69 cents, but I'd be respectful of the higher lows here. And let's see where those fibs come in around for current measure. Yeah, 67 cents would be the next area of interest, and you got 59 cents. Both of those still higher lows here. So I do think it pulls back a little bit more, but I would be looking for bounces around those regions. If it is going to be bullish, you'd expect that bounce to actually produce new highs from that region. So, funnily enough, one of the better charts we've seen today, although this one's still probably corrective short term, as are most charts today, I suspect, are going to be. Let me get back into the chats over here. Let's see what the pop chats. Let's see. Time Attack says crowd daily weekly. Okay, this is the crowd. I'm guessing this is CrowdStrike. Yeah, so they're gonna not be doing too well based off of the current events going on, and a nice pullback right there. This one very likely going to bounce soon. 240-ish region, I'd probably be looking for a bounce. I don't think it's going to completely shit the bed through where it's at right now. But again, you get to play the same game as a lot of these cryptos, right? Very likely to bounce right here, and then you get to play the game of, okay, does it produce a lower high? Because you got lower highs the whole way through, and well, your high probabilities of lower high, I mean, it could bounce all the way up towards 300, 320 and still be a lower high. So that's kind of the problem with something like this. But yeah, again, short term, a little bit more downside, very likely a bounce after that. I probably would be looking for a lower high, however, after that bounce, because this one is looking pretty ugly on a monthly here. So yeah, lower high somewhere between 300 to 320 after a bounce. All right, let's see. The yellow ones in the bottom. All right, Smart Choice Corp. Smart Choice Corp, great name for a company. Doggy Coin, hourly and 4 hour. Okay, so you're levered up on the very low term timeframes. Actually, not that low of a time frame, but short term hourly is likely to try for a bounce here. Perhaps yes. Kind of the same thing as what we see on the relatively higher term time frames. A lot of the other charts that we have looked at. Does it retest these lows at like 12 cents, 12.20? Perhaps yes, but I would be looking for a bounce there. I don't think it's going to break down, but very likely tries a bounce from this range. I don't think that bounce is going to be reversal. Personal opinion. I do think it could trade up as high as like 12.5 cents very easily, maybe even almost closer to 13 cents. But any bounce that fails to get back above 13.5 is just another lower high. I mean, a lot of these are looking a lot more corrective than not. Daily time frame, I didn't ask for it, but same shit. I'd be looking for more correction here after maybe a short-term hourly attempt for a bounce. Again, look, prior shitcoin from a prior cycle, not really doing much this current cycle. I mean, long term, it does have the higher lows, which is good, but I don't think it's going to be like a tremendously big winner for this current cycle. And yeah, you do have a weekly higher low in here as well, so that is good. I do think it will see upside in this cycle, but I don't think you're going to see one of those explosive moves. To be honest, I'd be kind of a little bit surprised if this one even trades to its prior all-time high. Which, I mean, still would actually be a very, very big move from here, even if it traded towards like 30 to 35 cents. But yeah, very, very short term, like you asked for on the hourly, maybe one more retest of these lows, but I would be looking for a bounce from these lows. I don't think that bounce can be reversal. I do think you get a lower high somewhere below like 13 to 13.5 cents. And after that, get ready for probably new lows on that move. Anyways, let's move on from there. Of course, I will be invalidated if this one trades back above 13.5 cents. That is obviously very, very, I wouldn't say very, very bullish, but it is bullish. All right, next one, we got Andrew Wickstead. He's looking at CAS on the daily and 5-day. Okay, remember this one was a popular one as well. I'm lagging a little bit. Fuck it. We're just gonna have to work with it. But not that much. Okay, good. Okay, so CAS on the daily and 5-day. Okay. again, long-term, great chart. You know, contrast this with a lot of things that we've seen today. This one is among the stronger ones. But is it still going to pull back here? Probably yes. I mean, most things in this market are pulling back right now. I don't think this one's going to be any different. We've already done the pullback area, analysis for this one. I do think it'll at minimum pull back to like 16.5 cents or so. I think that's like the biggest hopium area for potentially a higher low. If that area does fail, I'd be looking towards 15.25. Would be the next major one, and below there things start to look a little bit more dismal, I guess, but I'd give these areas a chance first. Higher term time frame still good, still strong, so you got to give it the benefit of the doubt. Monthly I don't hate yet. I don't hate yet. If it trades below 13.25, I will hate it, but until then, you got to give these ones the benefit of the doubt. And I would just be on higher low watch here. So corrective, like most things in this market right now. This one, however, definitely stronger than most things as well. I'm sure people are going to be drawing their triangles, which actually are okay. But even that, yeah, that would have a nice presumed bounce somewhere around like 16.5 cents. So fair enough. Would like to see a higher low there. That would look really, really good. So short term, corrective. Higher term time frame, still good. All right, let's see what we got next. Let me just make sure that I pick up where I left off. Okay, we got CSPB is looking at Daddy. Okay, oh God, this is the Andrew Tate coin. It's gotta be. How do you make a living out of telling people how do you make a living out of telling people that they're not good enough and that they're losers and blah, 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 and then you name your coin Daddy coin? It's like, my man, you are thinly veiling your PSYOP attempt. Let's see. Don't hate the player, hate the game, is what Elsa said. That's a contrast to what you said the other week. You said, what did you say the other week? Don't hate the... Don't blame the messenger. Don't blame the messenger, hate the game. Don't blame the messenger, hate the game. Okay, let's go to Gate.io for this one. Yep, pretty shitty chart. Is it likely to get a pity bounce here? Probably yes. Off of like 10 cents. I don't think this thing's gonna be reversing though. But yeah, I do think it'll at least attempt to bounce, kind of from where its current area is. That bounce could, for reference, come up all the way to 15 cents and still be a lower high. Could very easily look something like this, boom, lower high and down. But somewhere between like 15 to 17 cents on a bounce would actually not be that crazy. But I'd be looking for lower highs there. So yeah, it's likely to bounce here or very, very close here. Maybe after one more retest of these lows. But after that, I'd be on lower high watch. And I think that's going to be kind of the same thing for most of the weaker meme coins that we've been looking at, especially today. Big Bull wants to look at Moo the Bull on the 4-hour and daily. All right, let's check it out. Moo. Great name. Elsa really likes this coin as well. So let's see what it's looking like. This meme coin, again, contrasting it with the prior one that we just looked at, looks infinitely better. I mean, this one's actually made new highs, has an obvious uptrend going here as well. So, is it going to pull back alongside the rest of the market? Yes, very likely yes. But have to be respectful of these higher lows yet again. Could we see the next higher low? Actually, we might have already even seen the next higher low at 32, whatever the fuck number this is right here. If things do come down a little bit lower, I'd be looking somewhere around here for a higher low. I'd only get concerned about this thing as having like a major long-term reversal if it does trade below this low right here. Until then, I'd be mindful of higher lows on a pullback coming in somewhere right around here, and then likely another try for probably new highs on this one actually. Not terrible, but don't want to see it retrace too much more, basically. Anyways, moving on from there, we have inflation is just transitory. That's right, it's just transitory. Inflation is trans. Daily, weekly of Coinbase. Okay, no, don't say that word. That's not an allowed word. Coinbase over here. So Coinbase did actually trade above its June highs, its June of this year's highs, and so while this is having probably a bit of a deeper pullback than what I would have expected, I do think that long term, this one is going to break out to new highs on this rally, like above the highs that you saw in March. I think that it will trade 300 plus. But how far down does it come here is a real question. Let's see where our major fibs are at. Yeah, I mean it's very close to its 50% level at 240. I think at minimum you're gonna at least see a try for a bounce there. Could it come a little bit lower? Yeah, I do think that this one will come lower, either 230 or maybe even fills the gap at like 225. But I would be mindful of higher lows there. Again, long term I like this one. I'm just looking at this one as like a short term correction, kind of like Bitcoin. Bitcoin can very easily come down to $60,000 even, but I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. Kind of same thing for this one as well. Weekly momentum back onto the upside, on a higher low, traded above your June highs. I think this is kind of like a washout move before it tries higher into the end of the year. So could I be wrong about that? Yeah, absolutely. As I reserve the right to be wrong about anything, of course. But I don't really have a reason to be bearish on this chart as long as you're above these July lows. If you start to trade below the July lows, okay, you got a problem, or Coinbase has a problem. You probably don't have a problem unless you're a super long. But I wouldn't be considering like a reversal until that happens. Quarterly chart. Again, consolidation at the highs. I don't look at that as bearish, basically. Ooh, some good water here. Real good water. All right, Terrence Grogan wants to look at CleanSpark. Is CleanSpark a real stock? It has a name of real stock. Yeah, it does. It is. NASDAQ. See what we got here. Quarterly, very high term time frame. I do like the higher low, but let's see, what time frame are you on? Daily and weekly. Okay, so let's go down a little bit here. Weekly, weird as fuck. It is a tightening consolidation. It looks like this thing doesn't really trade too actively, maybe. Because this is like a really tight consolidation between 14.5 and 21. I guess on a percentage basis, actually, it is a little bit bigger than what I would have expected. But short term, very likely, goes for the full on gap fill, like 1580, 1585 region. I would be looking for a bounce there. If it does bounce there and you see the reversal, bring it back above your Tuesday high, which is $19. That would be good enough for me to call this one as very likely a breakout to the upside. Of course, by the same token, if it does trade below the 11th of July low, which is 1485, and you see a higher term time frame closure below there, I would be looking for this one to retrace significantly more. That would be kind of like my sort of breakdown area, and very likely you're going to see a move somewhere between like 10.5 to maybe $12 there before the next sort of bounce attempt. But I'd give this one a chance here. Again, I like the higher term time frames. Putting in the higher low here, it's not that interesting of a long-term chart. It hasn't really done all that much in some of the most bullish market cycles in stocks history. I mean, something to consider maybe. I appreciate the super chat, Ling Zhang, but feel free to have a message as well. Oh, there is a message. Where is it? Oh, I see it. Okay. Can you analyze Google stock? Right. Symbol GOG. Actually, really do like looking at real stocks. All right, Google, I think we got a high in here for a while. Monthly, massive, almost bearish engulfing dildo. It's not quite there just yet, but if it does trade below 172.5, you will have a bearish engulfing, and I'd be expecting this pullback to be a monthly pullback, meaning that it's going to take, it's going to be a multi-month correction. Very easily could come down to 150, maybe even 140-ish region if that does happen. Weekly, I do think you're going to try for a bounce relatively soon, somewhere around like very low 170s. But I'm not convinced that that one's going to be like the bounce. I do think that this one ultimately would trade a little bit lower, and then you might see another try to the upside. But I guess give it a chance to bounce somewhat soon. If the bounce gets back above 185, it's kind of like your bull trap region right here, then it's obviously very, very bullish. You should expect a retest of the highs at $200 or so, and very likely new all-time highs as well. But that would be my validation for that. Until then, I would actually err on a greater correction for this one. With what did we say, worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, probably right around like somewhere between like 140 to 150. Would be my worst case scenario before at least wanting to look at it again. All right, Dragos, great name, man, fucking great name. KNS, the crystals, no, Kenshi. All right, it's Kenshi. I thought it was Crystal Network or some shit. Looks like, I mean, I believe last time we looked at this one, we said, hey, look, as long as it's between these two boundaries, this is going to be considered a healthy consolidation. I would still say it's a healthy consolidation. I just don't think it's ready to break out just yet. Yeah, when we go down to the lower term timeframes, it does very much look like this one's going to be in for a further correction still. But sideways within this range is going to be long term bullish. It's just it can take a long time. It can easily come down here, bounce again, come all the way down to the low side of the range, bounce again, blah, 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 take its time. That's fine. I do think short term it will come down more. Very, very likely to come down more, I should say. Weekly time frame, same shit here. But long term, I mean, you have to be respectful of that. Again, especially as long as you're above your July lows. And that's going to be the same thing for most things that we've looked at today, which is basically around like 2 cents or just below 2 cents. So while short term it very likely does come down, as long as you don't see a violation below there, I'd be on higher low watch. Now below your July lows, okay, it's fucking wrecked, and get ready for some rinsing. But for now, short term downside, be mindful of higher lows, and take it from there, I suppose. Anyways, moving on, we have PP for the big bull. The big bull wants to look at PP. All right, PP USD. Muumu's PP. Okay. PP. Weird one here, actually. I wasn't. God, I hate charts that look like this. Not because it's a bad chart. It's actually good. It's for me, it's a little bit more difficult because I don't see anything like super obvious. I mean, the greater consolidation range. Okay, let's start off with the obvious things. Greater consolidation range between your lows from. Whoa. All right, that's. It's quite aggressive there. Your lows from what is this, April? And then, of course, your highs over here, we already have this in, would be your June 10th high, basically, or the week of that one. Short term, it's kind of like the last chart. You want to be respectful of higher lows, but short term, does it come back down after hitting the daily range high? Very likely, yes. I do think you're going to do something like this, or the LARP lines already have it. You stab up into this region, come back down. Anything, especially, between this region right here, is going to be long-term bullish, but it's going to take its time. I mean, it's not ready to break out now, or in my opinion, really soon. You're more likely to come down here, try for a higher low, trade sideways for a while. That would look good, but yeah, for me, give it some time, man. I just don't really have any real reason to be bearish on this, especially as long as you're above this low right here, and even below that low, you should be looking for big bounces around your April lows if that does happen, and that'd still be long-term okay, I suppose. Yeah, it's just probably going to take its time. You do kind of have to err on the side of bullishness here, though, just because long-term it actually has shown relative strength compared to most things, So if Bitcoin shows any threat of a bounce, any sort of strength, this thing should do very, very well. Just in the short term, I think the correction draws out for more, man. All right. We got Tobo. He's looking at Tesla daily, weekly. Okay, it's good. We also haven't had too many repeats today, too, as well. In fact, I don't think we've had any repeats, which is really, really good. Weekly has hit a nice high right here. I believe we spoke about this last week. Hit our measured move off of the inverted herp and derp. Long term, I don't hate this. I do think that this is going to be ultimately good, but a pullback after retesting your highs from July, that is to be expected. So that's not a bad thing here. And I do think it's going to pull back probably a little bit more as well. Let's see where our major fibs would be coming in around. Yeah, it could very easily pull back a little bit more here to like 205, 206 region. Fill this gap, which is kind of doing right now, and then try for a bounce. Where I'd be a little more concerned on this one is if you see below, what is it? Yeah, $200. Below $200, I would be expecting it to kind of fall back down, probably to your prior range lows. In like the mid 150s region, over time. But for now, it's like most things in this market. Short-term pullback. I do want to see how, if a bounce emerges, basically from very, very low $200, give that one a chance. If that one does fail, then you got a problem, perhaps. And of course, very, very long-term problems if you do trade below your April lows. I don't think that's what's happening here, but of course, need to have invalidation points for these things. And of course, we do have the end of the week, or sorry, not the end of the week, but the end of the month here in a week. And if this thing closes anywhere above like 216, which it's at right now exactly, if it closes anywhere above 216, I would be erring on the side of long-term bullishness. And you know, and I'd be looking at this pullback as very likely a major opportunity, man. Yeah. All right. Let me just take another sip of this water. I think I'm going to need some more water as well. Elsa, can you fill me up? Can you fill me up? Elsa's like hyper this morning. Okay, cool. Doggy coin, we got that one. Yes. Oh, wait, no, I'm just repeating these ones over here. J Boogie is looking at MPC. MPC coin, is that what I think it is? Great meme, by the way. Non-playable coin. Good, man. Very, very good. All right, let's check it out. Really, really good. Wow. Holy shit. This is like one of my favorite memes. How do I not have this one? That is fucking... This is like the best meme we've seen today. But just like everything else, you know, do I think it pulls back here a little bit more? Probably yes. But again, have to be on high or low watch. Let's get rid of this one right here. Let's see where our major fibs are coming in around for a potential pullback. It looks like I have charted it out before as well. So should probably have known this. But somewhere right around here, you know, I'd be looking for potentially on a higher low, about 7,000, whatever the fuck number or denomination that is. Let's see what the weekly looks like. I'm just curious. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this one corrects more, plays out of range, and then long term it does break out. I mean, this one would be on the list of stronger things that we've seen today for sure. In fact, it's among the strongest, I would say, as well. Let me actually write this one down. I want to do my own research. DYOR. Anyways, you know, long term, you gotta like something like this, or at least I have to like something like this. Big number goes up. Yeah, I'd just be looking for higher lows on this current pullback. So that would be the area of interest for me. I'd really only get concerned about this thing if it trades below your July lows again, which is right here. So if you see a trade and closure below that region, expect a much deeper correction. But until then, it's higher lows the whole way through. All right. Let me get back to the chats here. We're looking at Michael Longcar. He's looking at Brett, 4 hour and daily. Okay, Brett. All right. Let's see what this one. This was also among the stronger of the shit coins. I guess we go to CoinEx for this. Yeah, very similar in the short term to the last one that we looked at. In the long term, not as strong, however. This one, I think our LARP lines already are on it. Yeah. I think I drew this out. This was like very early July. I'd still be saying the same thing, man. I think on this current move, you might come a little bit lower towards those range lows. I think you're going to bounce again, though, as well. You know, I think if we're going to continue on with the LARP line, it's going to be something like this. It's going to be something like this. And that is going to long-term favor the boo laws. But as you can see, it's going to take some time. I mean, that would basically take us into like, you know, mid to end of August before it really has a real potential chance to actually break above these range highs at 15 cents. Again, I'd only get concerned about this thing if you do trade below your 8th of July low. At that point, expect a much deeper correction and maybe even like a major top towards like 7 cents at least. But for now, give it a chance. You know, again, like a lot of these stronger things, I do think you're going to see some bounces after a little bit of an extension of these current pullbacks going on, which are actually big percentage moves, to be fair. Just because these things fucking move, man. They move real hard. All right, base 4267 says Chipotle stock CMG weekly monthly. Holy shit, man. I remember this one. I never traded it, but I remember when I was trading traditional markets, like for some reason it just came up all the time. Anyways, Chipotle, that's very obviously a high. That's very obviously a major high. Let's go to the quarterly. That is a tremendous high. You're about to see quarterly stochastic momentum turn to the downside. Of course, this doesn't close for another 2 months, but with the way the monthly is looking, I think that's very likely to occur. I do think that this one will trade lower before a major monthly bounce, probably closer to 44 to 45 bucks. Yeah. Short term, it might try a daily bounce here, but that's extremely unlikely to be like the bounce, you know what I mean? Like, a reversal bounce. But is it close to a daily attempt for a bounce of like 51, 52 bucks? Yeah, I do think so. Bounce can very easily come back up even at like 57 to 58 bucks. Still lower high though. I'd be looking for this one to correct more to the downside over time. Thank you for the water, sir. All right. Okay. J Boogie, I know, man. I know you've been here since the beginning of the cave. You know, I still remember all of the names of the OG cavers, of the OG cavers. Anyone who was here, especially before like 2019 or even before 2020. Remember every fucking name, assuming you've actually like commented on YouTube and there's been like at least a little bit of interaction. Anyways, MPC versus on the USD pair. Okay, sure. I don't know if it's going to be significantly different, but yeah, let's try. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, okay. I see. All right, so you want to be looking at the USD pair, so we can do that. I imagine it's still a very similar chart, but actually not as strong as it is versus Ethereum. Short term, do I think the correction continues on more? Yeah, I do. I think you'll at least test like 2.5 cents, or sorry, 240. Try for a bounce there. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it other than that. But short term, you know, as are most things will correct more here. But I'd be looking for a bounce, you know, around about 240-ish region, somewhere right around here, basically. Let's also just see. I'm curious if that matches up with any of the major fibs. Very close to the 618 there. So yeah, I'd be looking for a bounce there and then come back to it after that. But yeah, short term, that would imply, you know, an extension of this downside move a little bit more before that bounce occurs. All right, sweet. We have a Bitcoin thug. What?
The orange one.
Pisa wants to look at XRP USD daily and weekly. Okay, XRP USD. Let's check it out. We did not look at this one earlier. Okay. XRP actually, funnily enough, is not looking terrible compared to most things we've seen in the more short term. The monthly I really like. The monthly is a bullish engulfing. The monthly stochastic momentum is about to turn up in 5 days, 6 days, whatever the fuck. At the end of this month, assuming it's above 60 cents, basically, yeah, it will turn up on a bullish engulfing dodo. You have to be looking for an extension of this move, at least to range highs after that, which is actually 90 cents. And that starts to make this consolidation look very mature, actually, meaning that that this one actually could be the move that does break the range highs. On top of that, I noticed that monthly volatility is extremely low here. So this one actually really does have a major chance to actually break out of this range high and trade probably back above $1, you know, maybe close to $1.50. Just want to see the monthly closure basically anywhere here or higher, like above 61. Anything above 61 cents will look good for another try higher. You know, probably closer to 90 cents. Following that, I mean, this is a monthly, so it probably takes some time, but that starts to make XRP actually look a lot more mature here. So can't really make fun of it as much anymore. All right, let's see. We got Bitcoin Thug. He's looking at Super USD daily week. Okay, I got Super over here. 70 cents. It's having a very good bounce. Okay, it's already kind of like, it's basically around your daily range high here, right? So, you know, does it bust on through and test the next range high as the LARP lines would suggest towards 90 cents or even 95 cents? Perhaps yes. Just want to see it actually close above basically yesterday's high, which is 73.75. Until then, probably should err on the side of caution, as you know, as are most things, that you're going to hit a range high here, come back down a little bit, but again, consolidating between even 75 cents and the current range lows at basically 50 cents, you know, very likely long term does make an actual move to the upside from that consolidation. The question to me is does it try from here, or does it try later on, as I think most things are, and trade sideways here first and then try move to the upside? I think that that's more likely, just based off of the rest of the market that we've looked at today. Most things look like they want to put in a consolidation like that. This one is actually showing a little bit more relative strength in the short term, but you know, is it going to be strong enough to buck the general market trends? In my experience, very unlikely. You're going to see an altcoin do that, but I guess it's possible. I mean, and my sort of criteria for that to be validated would be a closure above yesterday's high at 73.75. And if that does happen, get ready for a move towards basically $1. I mean, just shy of $1, and this consolidation starts to look pretty decent long term. Weekly, again, you know, I do think it's a question of when, not really if, on this bounce actually breaking back above that range high. The weekly stochastic oscillator is positioned back to the upside as long as you're above 50 cents on a weekly closing basis. You do see a regression coming in from these last few lows here too. So, I would really err on the side of this one breaking out to the upside. It's just, how long is that going to take? I don't know. I think it's probably more likely to correct more first, but that's a personal opinion, not based off of this chart in particular, but based off of the other charts actually. So it might not be as applicable, meaning that I don't feel as confident on that one. Cheesy poofs. Cheesy poofs. Cheesy poofs. Cheesy poof says people USDT. Sorry. I actually did skip someone right before you, Cheesy Poofs. Michael Longcar is back. He's looking at Tau, symbol TAO. Okay, I think this was another shitcoin of choice in the recent cycle. Let's see how it's doing now. No, I don't think this was a shitcoin of choice. At least it doesn't look like it, because it has not had one of those nice long uptrends. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong chart, but I would assume Binance probably has one of the more long-term histories for this. So I'm going to run with this one. Anyways, God, yeah, these charts, like, I've really don't like them, not because it's because I don't have a strong opinion on it. It's like, look, the trend is down. Yes. Okay. Obviously, do I trust my oscillators on the daily here? No, it's too new. It's only been around since April. God, I fucking hate these things, man. They're just so difficult, at least for me. 4-hour time frame, obviously ranging, but it's the daily that you'd be more interested in here, just because the daily actually really does look like it could push through here. And if it does trade back above your Saturday highs, I'd be looking for this one to put in a quick move towards like 400 plus at that point. But until then, personally, again, based off of, the general trend that we see in this market, I do think it's probably more likely to maybe test into that range again. The highs again, not close above that highs, and continue on with the range sideways for a while, and then try later. But yeah, my criteria for upside more immediately than not would be a closure above that Saturday high, basically. All right. Let's see. People USDT for cheesy poofs. Okay, let's see what this. I don't think I've ever heard of this one. So let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. See what it does. Constitution DAO. All right, sounds legit. Yeah. So another one where, short term, very likely to pull back here, or continue to pull back a little bit more, at least towards like 690. Be looking for a bounce like somewhere right around here. Bounce, not the same thing as reversal. Let's see what the long term looks like. Long term, a lot better than what I thought. This one is a multi-cycle shitcoin. It is pretty much retested its prior all-time high, so it doesn't go into like the ugly as fuck shitcoins from prior cycle bucket. It goes into par for the course bucket, basically. While I did say you probably try for a bounce at around 690, I don't think that's going to be the bounce. I think that a greater range plays out here. I think that you're going to be ranging in this particular bracket for a while, so it might look something like that. Try for a bounce, boom, come down straight sideways, and then maybe try an upside move. But long term, have to appreciate the trend. Can't really be bearish on this thing long term, as long as it's above the July lows again here at about 5 cents. Can test back down there, that's fine, but we'd be looking for higher lows there first and foremost. So I always want to be respectful of trend long term, and that would be it for me. Long term, I do think that this one actually will break above these highs and retest prior all-time highs and probably make new all-time highs, basically. My point is that I think that these current consolidations can take a while, or at least that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Let's see. Gerante, definitely Dutch. Pendle on daily from this monkey boy. Thank you. Nice one, man. All right, Pendle. I remember this one was also a strong one. Let's see. Yeah, it was a strong one. Now, like most things, kind of struggling right there. This one can pull back a lot. This one can pull back like a lot, actually. Do I think it's going to try for a bounce off of your July lows? Very likely, yes. Very likely, yes, which you're very, very close to. Is that bounce going to be the reversal? I don't think so, honestly. I will be wrong on that if you see it trade back above your Wednesday, the 17th of July high at about 480. If you see that happen, okay, I'm wrong. I'd be expecting another move back up towards these prior highs at like $7, and this one's probably just ready to. It's probably just ready to go after that, honestly, to new all-time highs. But what I'd be leaning a little bit more towards is you pop back up here, you don't retake those highs, you come back down, you play at a range, maybe even come back down to the prior range lows, and that's where your next major low would likely come in around. So yeah, looking at the weekly, I do think that this one probably corrects more, man. Yeah, looking at the monthly, I think it probably corrects more. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, closer to like 2.5 or 2.25 before the correction is over. So again, I think it's going to take some time. I think that it's going to require some patience here for a lot of things, because you're going to get some bounces that look like reversals, but I don't think that they're going to be the big ones, the ones that you're really looking for. Anyways.
Hey, did you check that on Mexi?
Yes. Well, what? It needs to be Tau on Mexi. All right, we can look at Tau on Mexi. It's all the same shit though, man. Same exact chart in the short term. Oh yeah, it is a little bit different because I didn't have this price action over here. So you know what? I stand corrected. My apologies for that, Mr. Michael Longcar. Okay, this one actually does change the perspective a little bit. Yeah, LARP line's over here playing out. It's almost at the range high target that we were looking for. I think that you probably do pull back around this region though, which would be about 370. 375. I wouldn't be looking for this one to put in like a big move as long as it's below about 375. So this is kind of what I'm looking at as like the range high right here. If it does start to close above that region, okay, I'm wrong. You're going to see this thing probably have a relatively quick move towards like 500. I mean, actually would not be bad at all. But just like most things in this market, I'm kind of leaning more towards ranging behavior. I can definitely be wrong on that, of course. Maybe things are more bullish short term than what I suspected. But I would err on the side of sideways consolidation for a little bit more time, as indicators do start to all match up. And this one does look like long term it will be fine. It will be okay. It's just, does this one come back down to the current range lows first or not? I'm always going to assume range continues first before anything else. Again, if Bitcoin has a nice bounce, this thing will actually perform quite well, I suspect. Night Rock says DeFi stock on daily. Okay, DeFi stock? What is this? DeFi Technologies? Okay, I'm guessing this thing. Okay, barely trades. So that's the first thing that really stands out about this. Yeah, this thing's been around for a very short amount of time. Does not, it goes days without really seeing any real trades. To me, I don't have a real analysis on something like this, man. The weekly time frame is the only thing that makes kind of sense. Again, like Bitcoin, does it pop back down to like $69 first? Great number, fill that gap and then try an upside move? Maybe yes. Or does it take off from here? Also maybe yes. I do think long term, the trend is your friend. Weekly momentum is switching back onto the upside above $70. So I guess it's just I don't like charts that look like that. They're just weird. Long term, I think it's going to make new highs from here. Short term, does it pull back more first? Could very easily pull back and fill that gap and then try for an upside move. I don't have a strong opinion on which happens first. Whichever way Bitcoin goes, honestly. Michael Longcar is back. He's looking at whiff. Is this thing's you want DeFi tech on the Neo? DeFi tech on the Neo. Okay, it's on Canadian shit exchanges. Just let me know. Wow, significantly not as good as the last chart. You probably want the other one. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I do think it actually does try an upside move here to like 250, but what time frames are you on? Daily, weekly. So you're not that super long term. Yeah, I do think it tries a little bit more on this upside move, like 245, 250-ish region. If this one is going to continue to range, that's where I'd expect the high to be. If it starts to close above like $2.50, then at that point, you kind of have to be looking at this one as likely to retest your 3.25 high. But again, I think ranges are more likely to play out here than not. Don't think these things are ready just yet. See what, weekly volatility coming off the highs here as well. You're more likely to range. For a little bit of time than not. All right. Stonks Dave says, can you check out Soil USDT? Okay, so not Stonks. It's cryptos, not Stonks. Soil's USD. Okay. Or is it Sol? No, Soil. Okay. Soil. All right. We have dirt on the blockchain. Amazing. Hit a range high here. Very likely coming down. Going to find the range lows, I expect. Something like this. Boom. Maybe it spikes this area once again, but sideways within this region most likely. And I do think that it will at some point come back down to like 90 cents, maybe even all the way down to the range lows, but I'd be looking for bounces there. This chart a little more obvious than the rest. Only way I'd except invalidation on that one is above like 150. At that point, very likely looking at a move $2 plus relatively quickly. But again, range here more than likely for a while. All right, some more water from me. HFIFM. How do I pronounce your name? I don't know. DMT. DMT on the blockchain. How does that work? I'm getting enlightened through the DMT coin. The Dream Machine. Wait, it's probably this one. Dream Machine. Cool name. DMT actually does produce your dreams, apparently. Or at least it seems to be a component within it. Whoops. Drawing lines again. Damn lines. My damn lines. Okay. Yeah, definitely not in the bucket of strong shit coins we've seen today, but also not in the weak bucket. It's certainly not in the weak bucket. Yeah, certainly not in the weak bucket, but not in the super strong ones. I do think, just like most things, you've hit a range high here. You're gonna come down. You're gonna play out some sideways. It's gonna be something like this. No real reason to get excited about this thing, especially as long as you're below your Sunday highs, basically. If you start to trade back above there, close above there, then yeah, this one retests the highs, very likely make new highs. But just like most things, I think you're going to be consolidating for a while. I think you just hit the range high, so you're probably coming down a little bit more first, maybe closer to like 66, maybe even as low as like 60. But I'd be looking for bounces there. And anything between these two boundaries is long-term fine. So yeah. All right. Big Bull is looking at Mishi Soul. Okay. All right. On Radium Solana. Okay. It's new. Apparently we've looked at this one before, and our ranges are still holding here. I have the same thing to say about most charts. You might spike this range high again at 33, 34 cents, maybe, but I do think you will correct first more before any sort of legitimate breakout attempt, something like that. Long-term fine as long as you're above your June lows, basically. So give it a chance, but it takes its time, I suspect. I suspect that a lot of these things are going to be taking their time. Weekly actually looks pretty good, which is kind of weird. Wasn't expecting that. Maybe it does bust on through here. Maybe I'm being too conservative myself, in which case you'll know that I'm wrong if it trades back above its Sunday's high. I'd be expecting this one to retest prior all-time highs and make new all-time highs if that were to occur. But I do think erring on the side of caution is probably better right now, at least for myself, because Bitcoin could very easily pull back more. It has hit its first major area where we could expect a higher low, but there's still two more areas lower than that, which wouldn't surprise me at all if it did get hit. So it's like if you're the most optimistic, it's seen the low as of this last 24 hours. If you're less, then maybe 62, 62 and a half, maybe 60 and a half, something like that. All right. Luigi, what the fuck do you want? Serotonin? Serotonin. Oh, I see what you did there. Serotonin. I thought it was like a Finnish name because it looked kind of Finnish spelling, but serotonin. Gotcha. All right. STX. Stacks. This is the DeFi on Bitcoin thing, right? Is it? I don't even know. Stacks. Does that sound right? Stacks. I'm stacking. All right. Again, very similar chart to a lot of the other ones that we looked at. It has been around for multi-cycles, it looks like. Yeah. It retested those highs, actually made slightly new highs, so that's also a good sign. But I do think that short term, you're more than likely to range closer to the lows here before, the real bounce, if you will. Something like that, perhaps. You're going to see like the same drawing on most of these charts, basically. But short term, more likely to correct more in the more near term than not. Long term, still completely fine, and still actually a very good long term chart as long as you're above 1.25. But that doesn't mean you can't come back down around there. That's the problem. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about it other than that. I think you're going to continue to see the sideways range play out for some time. I'll be wrong on that. Invalidate if you do see this one trade back above about $2. At that point, get ready for likely a quick move towards 2.5. And I mean that from there it's probably a straight up move. But more likely to go sideways, more likely to consolidate more likely to spend his time. It's going to be the general thing I'm going to be saying today. All right, we have Luigi now. He's looking at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum place. Very polite, which is good. Okay, let's see. I think I have Ethereum. Yes, index here. Good. Actually, I haven't looked at this one in a while. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. First, let's go to a higher time frame, weekly. Okay. Is this one more likely to correct more first or not? Well, first, let's see where our fibs are coming in around. It's below the 50% level. 61.8 is 3,100, so perhaps a little bit lower before it attempts for a bounce. It did hit a low of 31.35, so I mean, could try for a small bounce here, I guess. It's a weird one to me. Let me actually go to, sometimes this can help. All right. So you got lower highs, but you got same lows. Usually that's not a good sign. Usually that's not a good sign at all. I guess the hopium here is that it will put in a higher low at around 3,100, which you're kind of at right now. So, if it's bullish, I'd be expecting it to actually start reversing very, very soon at around 3,100 and then trade back above this high right here. If it does that, you're very likely in the clear for a long-term sustained upside move to probably new highs. If it does not bounce there, then you have typically a very bad case in my experience, where you come back down to that prior low, very likely will bounce again at that prior low, but now you have 3 of the same lows and you got 3 lower highs. That's usually when things start to break down, actually, in terms of trend. So I would give it the benefit of the doubt first, just because, well, I think most things in this market are bullish. And, Ethereum just got an ETF, and well, I don't have a strong opinion on that. We saw the same thing on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin immediately had a pretty severe correction off of its ETF and then had a significant upside move. I think you could very easily see something like that here too. But we really would be expecting no higher term time frame closures below 3,100 if that's going to happen. I want to see a higher low here, take out that prior high. That would be my early confirmation that this thing is just fucking ready. But definitely not the strongest one of the cycle, that's for sure. Or even in the same conversation as the strongest ones this cycle. So yeah. All right. Some more water for me. Jups wants to look at Jupcoin. Nice. When derp. When derp is always a question. I think I have this one on my list as well. Where's my Jups? There it is. Found my Jups. All right, let's go back to normal dildos right here. Whoops, not this one, but this one. Yes, there we go. Yeah, this one actually having a pound for pound a decent bounce compared to most things. But again, same sort of thing here, right? You got your range lows, you got your range highs. Does it try upside from here, or does it correct back down, closer to the low side of the range first and play out the LARP lines more? I'm just more biased towards that happening for most things that we've seen today. But this one is a little bit more relatively strong than a lot of things that we have seen. Is it that much stronger? I don't think so, no. If it does trade up from here, like 135, but still, it's a range play for a while. So I'd be erring on the side of caution. I do think that the LARP lines are probably more accurate here than not. It looks like they've been following them, and we must have drawn this in like about a month ago almost now. So I'd be leaning towards continuation of this correction first, a little bit lower, maybe like 82 cents, maybe if things get really, really crazy, like 75 cents. But these should be very likely opportunities. I will be wrong again if this one trades above about 108 and closes the daily above there. At that point, I'd be expecting a move towards 130. Again, I don't think it's ready to break out from that exact posturing. I still think you're overall sideways within this range, but obviously that is a pretty big percentage move. So have to have an invalidation right there. But yeah, I'm leaning towards more sideways here. Long term, good. Long term, I do think that it will, retest these highs and make new all-time highs. It's just, I think it's going to take some time, man. I think it is going to take some time. Wouldn't be surprised to see August as mostly a corrective month. But yeah, among some of the better ones, definitely having a better pound for pound bounce than a lot of the other shit coins we've seen today. But really, the things that are strongest in this market are still the meme coins. They really are. So I think it's time to put aside it's time to put aside. No, of course, for me, it doesn't really matter. Just look at charts. But it's a funny thing, right? Because people like to think that fundamentals, probably the best example of fundamentals not being I shouldn't say that they're not important, because they are important, but they're just not that important, is that memes are fucking leading the cycle. I mean, they are. And, you know, last cycle, it was DeFi. In 2017, it was the ICOs, you know, shit like that. And the cycle before that, I actually don't know. I think it's just like random shit coins. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's a sector that matters, not the actual fundamentals. So yeah. All right, let me take some more of this water. You know someone is desperate and possibly questionable when they are requesting Bcash multiple times. So you know what? We're gonna do it for Sam. Let's. Sam says, Eric, let's explore Bcash. We can definitely do that, my man. Okay, I shouldn't judge. I have not looked at this chart in years, so maybe I shouldn't judge it. Maybe I'll be eating my words, and I won't be today. Ha ha ha! You bastard! It looks terrible. Let's explore it. What's there to explore? Just the overall shittiness of the chart? Let's explore sexuality with Bcash. It's butt cash. My butt cash coins. I got one coin for every hair that I have in my asshole. Like most things in this market, it's probably going to come back down to this range low. Probably be closer to $300. Probably bounces there as well. Long term, it's a chart only a mother could love. Monthly lower highs, terrible, fucking terrible. In 2021, it didn't get anywhere near its prior all-time high. Just garbage, absolute fucking garbage. But you know, can it bounce off of the prior low at like $300 and maybe try for a new high on this rally for this year? Maybe. It depends how strong the market is. This thing will not move on its own, though, I suspect, or at least to the downside, it'll overperform, and to the upside, it will underperform most likely. Stephen Weston says, Ray diuretics. Okay, so like a real stock. Okay, that's good. Ray, I'm not seeing diuretics. I'm spelling that wrong. That's why I'm the herpity derp now. I'm not. I don't know exactly what. I'm guessing it's not this thing. I'm guessing it's a real stock. Can you give me the exact radium? Oh, it's radium. Okay, it's radium. All right, then why did you say radium? Oh, you probably autocorrected or some shit. Radium. Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you for clarifying. Okay. Yeah, terrible. Absolute garbage. Look, man, it's been around for a cycle. It is so severely far off from its prior all-time high that is not a good sign. Here's the real chart. Look, it could go up a lot from here. It will never. I would feel very comfortable saying that it will never trade above its 2021 highs. Shit. I mean, it could even easily. I shouldn't say easily, but it could trade towards $4, which is like a 2x move from here, and still be completely irrelevant long term. I don't know what time frames are going off of because you didn't include it, but you know, if I'm going down to the daily here, it actually in the short term, I mean, it's actually in kind of a better position than a lot of things we've seen today, which is rather interesting. I do think that you're going to be ranging here still. After hitting that high, but should be looking for a higher low on this pullback. So it might spike that area one more time, probably comes back down after that. Anything above like 175 would look pretty good for another attempt towards those highs and probably new highs on this rally, which I think that it will make on this cycle. It's just, you know, there's so many better options that don't have this overhead supply hang that you will get with something like this that's been around for, you know, a cycle and has really not done anything of significant interest since then, which is just, in my experience, not a good sign, man. Not a good sign at all. So yeah. Anyways, I think we did do whiff, but I'll do it again. I think we did. I did. I feel like I saw that one, Michael Longcar. But I don't. Maybe I accidentally skipped over it, which in which case I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. But again, a very similar chart here than most things, right? You see here, oh, I guess I already have this one drawn out, and the LARP lines they're lagging. Like my video. You know, hit a range high right here. I do think that it corrects a little bit more. Long term, I guess you can still be optimistic on it, or I could still be optimistic on it as long as it's above, well, especially like 160, but even like $2, or sorry, especially $2, but even like 160 technically speaking. But The only way that I'd get excited about this one yet again is if you see a trade back above Monday's high. If you see that, this one will very likely trade closer to like $3.5, $4 relatively fast. But again, I'm mostly biased towards these things hitting range highs, maybe spiking it again, coming back down, playing out sideways, and then trying their moves like later on in this year, probably around September if I had to guess. So, yeah, yeah. I think that's it. I think that's it. My voice is starting to get wrecked here too. Weekly time frame. Yeah, I don't hate on this bounce right here. It's just, I think it can take more time, and maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, maybe these things actually are going to push through exactly where they're at right now. I mean, like we said, with Bitcoin, it did hit its first area. You know, if you're like the most optimistic, potentially putting in a major higher low there. I'll go through some of the chats here. And then we'll call it a day. We're actually already almost 2 hours into this video. Holy shit. Where is the Rhino video? I actually don't have that on this computer anymore, which is really awful. Trying to look for some good ones, some good requests. No bullshit. All right, Kent Kennington is looking at Novo B. I always see Kent, so let's see what this is. This is because I've never seen it before in my life. Oh, it's a real stock. You must be, what is this, Danish? I don't know how to fucking know. From one of those countries. I think you've seen a high here. I think you've seen a high for a while here. I mean, you're probably going to bounce from the current area, but I don't think that bounce is going to be like the bounce. I think that this thing could easily bounce up to even like 950. Or even like 970, but I do think that this one's putting in like a macro high here for a while. Yeah. The problem with these charts is that they can retrace a lot and still be long-term like okay. Jesus Christ. I mean, is this one going to correct down to like $700 in the coming, I don't know, few years? Maybe yes. I want to see how the quarterly ends out, but yeah, at least for the monthly, I'd be expecting this correction to go down at least towards like 830 before it tries for like a real bounce. All right. Let's see. Is there any Solana? Yeah, we can do Solana. We'll end on Solana actually. Solana's a good one to end on because I think a lot of people are generally interested in Solana as well. Solana, one of the stronger ones as far as altcoins go. Actually, a lot closer to the range highs than most things in this market as well. So relatively strong in the short term here too. But is it going to push through exactly here, or does it pull back a little bit more first? I'm going to be biased towards it pulling back a little bit more first and then trying the move. Could very easily pull back to 163, 156, 150-ish region. It'll all still be higher lows and set it up for continuation to the upside later. That's kind of my problem with a lot of these things. Monthly time frame is looking pretty good coming into the monthly. Coming into the monthly closure here. Any sort of if this one closes above 175 at the end of this month, very fucking bullish. This one will probably make new highs on this rally in August or especially September if that happens. So that'd be the big thing to be mindful of. Above 175 on the monthly in 6 days. That's what I'd be looking for. But 6 days is a lot of time in trading land, right? It's a lot of time, a lot of days indeed. All right, I think that's going to be it for me today. My voice is already wrecked, and we have a nice live stream later for the second cohort of the Krown School going on here, actually in about 2.5 hours. Well, it's longer than that. It's longer than that. It's more like I think probably like 4 hours. But again, the sign up link is in the description below. Again, it is free with an exchange account, and I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video for. I should do the song.
Give me the higher.
Here's what I'm going to do. Okay? Here's what I'm going to do. All right? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Okay? All right? We're going to end this video in a different way. We're going to do it with some more educational content. Okay? And I want everyone to just enjoy. And what are you sighing about over here? Elsa says, you're going to play something gay. Okay. It's not gay. Okay. Appreciating the male body is not gay. Okay. All right.
Sucking your pee-pee doesn't make
I was only 9 years old. I loved Shrek so much, I had all the merchandise and movies. I pray to Shrek every night before bed, thanking him for the life I've been given. Shrek is love, I say. Shrek is life. My dad hears me and calls me a faggot. I knew he was just jealous of my devotion for Shrek. I called him a cunt. He slaps me and sends me to go to sleep. I'm crying now, and my face hurts. I lay in bed and it's really cold. A warmth is moving towards me. I feel something touch me. It's Shrek. I'm so happy. He whispers in my ear, "This is my swamp." He grabs me with his powerful ogre hands and puts me on my hands and knees. I'm ready. I spread my ass cheeks for Shrek. He penetrates my butthole. It hurts so much, but I do it for Shrek. I can feel my butt tearing as my eyes start to water. I push against his force. I want to please Shrek. He roars a mighty roar as he fills my butt with his love. My dad walks in. Shrek looks him straight in the eye and says, "It's all ogre now." Shrek leaves through my window. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.